everybody. Welcome to the Together We Thrive podcast. Today, I have got Profit First Certified Dan Edwards, who's going to talk to us all about how you get that money out of your business and put it into your pocket in the most tax efficient way. I don't know if tax efficient is the right word, Dan?
It is. We say, well, our mantra is taxing itself isn't bad as long as you've got the money to pay for it. So using the profit first system, we guarantee the tax is going to be there for you to use it to pay the tax bills off, whilst also having a little bit extra every quarter to pay yourself a little nice bonus. I say little, it can be quite large.
It can be quite large, yeah.
Yes.
What, I mean, I suppose the first question I've got regarding all the taxation system and everything as well is, do you think a lot of businesses are going to be hurt this year because they've been living on that dividend and future profit focus? And obviously this year's probably hit a lot of businesses hard. Do you know, are they going to come unstuck?
I think once the bounce back loans start hitting, when the payments start hitting for those and the deferred taxes start to come around, I think a lot of businesses, if they haven't been cash flowing from now, are going to start to really struggle in the next coming months. Obviously, HMRC have given people 12 months extra to pay these bills, but if they've not taken them into their cash flow and recognise they're going to have to pay them, there are going to be a lot of businesses who are going to come unstuck, unfortunately.
As the HMRC being a little bit too reckless with this, just opening the flood, like the door to anybody, no credit checks, no nothing, just almost here's some free money, come and get it.
I was reading an article this morning. Apparently, banks are being a bit more. They're going back over bounce back applications and freezing bank accounts for those people who shouldn't have had them. Yeah. So I think it's the reckoning is coming for people who have taken out these loans and shouldn't have had them. HMRC, they're doing the best they can to recuperate as much as they possibly can do. I think they're aware of the fact if they try to take it all at once, businesses will just fold.
Sure.
And leave them with nothing. So the softly approach, pay us in over 12 months, seems to be how they're doing it. And we haven't had one client yet who's been refused a payment plan. So yeah, they're being very soft at the moment with payment plans and things, in the hope that they get the money over the long term. Yeah,
sure. I suppose part of their initial strategy was that they're prepared to lose a large proportion of it, aren't they? I think that's probably been the game plan from day one, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. I think they're reckoning about 40-50% of what they've given out is not going to come back to them.
Not going to come back, yeah.
Not directly from those who have taken it, but probably it will come back from us, from those who are still trading come 2-3 years time.
Yeah, and the increase in taxes that's going to probably happen in 2022.
Yeah, I was reading an article from the AAT yesterday about them possibly changing the VAT thresholds around a little bit, either bringing it down in line with the personal allowance or getting rid of it entirely.
Oh, really?
Which will be an interesting prospect for a lot of businesses, everyone having to be VAT registered.
So oh really? Right, okay, that's interesting. So I mean, every business, regardless of the threshold, just really wow.
The threshold is 85. I think there was talks of bringing it down to 50, 25, and then whatever the last level is over the next few years.
Really?
I mean, I've been talking about this for years. They've got to do it at some point to come in line with the rest of Europe. But whether or not he's brave enough to do it now is a different matter.
I think that they've got to be very. I think that, I mean, I've been saying this for since lockdown. Do you know? I think that what they've done has been a very smart move by putting everyone into furlough, paid to stay at home. Because if they didn't, I think we'd have been having riots right now.
Yeah.
Do you know? They've basically paid you to stay at home.
Yeah, I think there would be so much more civil unrest in the country if the government wasn't paying out for people to stay at home.
Sure, yeah.
But the fear is people who are still on furlough now, what are the odds they're going to have a job come April, May time when furlough stops?
I know.
If their job's not sustainable at the moment, apart from those in hospitality, they're just going to walk straight back into a job. But anyone else, I fear for them. They should
absolutely. I agree.
They need to start looking. I mean, the smart people have started businesses themselves. They've taken the time at home whilst they're still earning, and they've started FBA businesses or Etsy businesses. They've done something with it.
Done something, and I love that. I really do, and I think that it reminds me of a quote from Tony Robbins. I don't know if you're familiar. I'm sure you probably are. Everyone knows Tony Robbins, don't they?
We do, yeah.
But one of his things is that you get rewarded in public for what you practice in private. And I've been beating this drum since lockdown, saying, now is time to practice. Get good, hone your skills, develop something else. Like you said, then, while you're getting paid to be at home, go and learn something else right now, so that you're strong and ready when the shit really hits the fan.
Yeah, Yeah, I've saying this from the very start as well. You need, if you furloughed, enjoy it for a month, have some fun, enjoy the kids, but do something with them. Learn a new skill, learn a new job, learn coding or something.
Yeah.
Just practically. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're still going to have 80% of your wages at the end of the day.
I think most people blew it in the garden, didn't they? Putting bars up.
I think they did. Either that or hot tubs. Hot tubs was a massive thing in March last year.
And then it's exercise bikes now as well. I think that everywhere I've looked for these exercise bikes online, like even that Peloton. This
Peloton
is
bikes.
$2,000 bike and you can't get one. Do you know, like it's a waiting list now because everyone's ordered them. It's just like,
don't worry, come 3 months' time, they'll all be on eBay for sale.
Yeah, there will be. Yeah, for like 30% of the original cost.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm holding out for. Anyway.
Hold out for that. Yeah, I'll have a studio full of them.
Yeah, that's the one.
Fantastic. So Dan, like just to run through what you do for people as well. So you are a certified profit first professional, which we're going to jump into shortly. QuickBooks ProAdvisor, startup loans ambassador, and your mantra is that you want to help business owners put more of the profit into their pockets. So I mean, I don't think I really need to tell anyone what you do based on that, but for anyone that's probably not sure, do you want to just tell us who you are, what you do, and how you help businesses?
So we're not your average accountants, we hope. We want to see our clients on a weekly, monthly basis. We don't want to see them after the year, and we can't do anything after that point. So we do the accounts, we do payroll, we do tax returns, we do VAT returns. But what we also do is help businesses implement a cash flow system that means they are prepared for the taxes, they are prepared for expenses, they have a little bit extra every quarter to pay themselves a bonus. Because if you're not enjoying your business and rewarding yourself for being in business, you might as well get a job. It's so much easier. Obviously, not in the current climate, but under normal circumstances, if you're not enjoying your business and it's not serving you, then get a job at Tesco's. It's so much easier. A lot less hassle for it. But that's what we help our clients do. We want them to enjoy their business because if they're enjoying it, they grow, which helps my bottom line at the end of the day. If we're supporting growing businesses, it helps my business to grow.
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree with you because one of the things that I do when I start working with a client on a coaching level, I'll try and talk them out of running the business first to see how committed they are to it. And I'll be like, listen, if all you want is a nice house, a nice car, and a couple of holidays a year, pre-COVID, go and get a job. Because like this battle is not going to be worth it. The squeeze is not going to get the juice that you want.
Indeed. Yeah, we've had this similar conversation with clients at starting saying, "Are you really sure you want to do this? Because there's going to be sleepless nights, there's going to be long weekends. Yeah. But if you put the effort in, and you do as you're instructed to do, advised to do, then you'll get the rewards." Yeah, I mean, totally. I don't work a full working day. We have 4 or 5 holidays a year pre-COVID. I see my kids every day, take them to school, sports days, everything like that. That's the rewards for me. Good. And say the holidays and things.
And that's not happened by fault, has it? I suppose that's happened by design. You've mapped that out in terms of how you want that to be and the lifestyle that you want to have. I think that the issue that I see with a lot of people, they don't know what they want. They don't know that lifestyle that they're trying to achieve. They live in they see this Instagram lifestyle and they think that that's what life's all about, is Ferraris, mansions, and hot guys or hot women.
Yeah. I think it's finding that one thing. I mean, we went out and bought a second-hand camper van. It's 25 years old. It's a heap of rust, but it's ours. We're going to take it around Scotland in the summer. That is our reward for being in business. I can work from anywhere because I work for myself.
I love it.
That's what I'm looking forward to, spending a week in Scotland with the kids.
Yeah, I love that. What do you think, Dan, is like the ultimate threshold? How much does somebody need to earn to really be like happy, do you think?
I think that's a very personal question to each individual person. I mean, I'm happy earning 40 to 50k a year. That's pays for the house, pays the mortgage, pays the holidays, pays for the kids to do pretty much what they want at the end of the day. Some people want to shoot for the moon and hundreds of thousands of pounds, and that's good for them.
Yeah.
But the more you earn, there's a lot of pressure that comes with it as well. It just depends what people set the sights on, really.
Sure. Why do you think that people do differ? Because we're all the same underneath, aren't we? We're all flesh and bone and skin, and we've got this beating pulse and we've got this vibrational frequency and stuff. So in essence, we're all the same. Why is it that you think that some people are, happy doing 20 grand, 30 grand, 50 grand, where others need that a month?
I think it comes down to personality and what they value in life. If you value the nice things, the nice cars, then you'll want to earn the money to be able to afford them.
Yeah.
If you value going for a walk with your family at the weekend, then money isn't the be all and end all. It's just what your value, what value you place on things.
Of course.
And if you're trying to keep up with the Joneses as well.
Well, that's always key, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it is, yes.
What happens in your world then? So like you're speaking with a business, the business owner, he or she is, very ambitious, very driven. They want to have that 100 grand a month lifestyle, but their business just hasn't got the capabilities of giving them that. I mean, like, what do you say to them there? Do you say like, do you have to give them a reality check, or do you say, we can get there, but this is what you've got to do?
So we sort of reverse engineer the income that people want. So if they want to earn 100 grand a year, 100 grand a month, then we say, well, this is the sales you need to make 100 grand a month. Is that feasible? Can you achieve that? And if they think they can do, then we point them in the right direction for coaches and people who can help them with the mindset and everything to help them achieve that, whilst we just run the numbers behind it, saying these are the numbers you need to get there. Sure. We can lay out a roadmap for you, but coaches and people will help you push it along further.
Of course. So it's fair to say then that you really dial into the coaching world?
We dial into the accounting coaching world. We want to see people understand the numbers and understand the figures that they have to achieve to get to what they want.
Sure. What about coaching? What about coaching as a general rule? Because I think that coaching's exploded, hasn't it? Certainly over the last probably 18 months, 2 years. Like everyone's a coach now. You can get a sleep coach, you can get a fitness coach, you can get a dietitian that's going to coach you on what to eat, and a business coach, a life coach, a coach for your house to style it. There's literally a coach for everything. Is that a good thing, or is it a bad thing?
I think if the coaches actually lived what they're doing. I mean, I've lived profit first since I started my business. I read the book from Mike Michalowicz when I first started up. I've read all his books, and I live profit first. So I'm quite happy coaching it because I understand it.
Yeah.
I don't understand origami, so I'm not going to coach origami skills.
Yeah.
But there are people out there but it's just understanding the right coach for the right situation, and say we focus on making sure the business is profitable.
Yeah.
That's what we focus on. There are coaches to help you with mindsets and everything else, and they're more qualified to do it.
Sure. How do you? What's the first thing that you should focus on then as a business to become more profitable? Would you say?
It's understanding where you're spending your money. A lot of people have these subscriptions they pay out for a month, week in, week out, like the gym for your personal life. Everyone's got a gym subscription. Haven't used it for the last year, but still paying out for it. Yeah. Netflix subscriptions, Now TV. There's so many subscriptions because that's the society we live in. We live in a subscription society. Like Zapier for businesses, particularly people pay for Zapier, probably don't use it to its fullest.
Sure.
It's just understanding where you're spending the money and cutting away the stuff you don't use. So when we take on a client for the coaching side of it, we always go through a 12-month expense analysis. We call them the PRs and Us. Profit driving, replaceable, unnecessary. Ditch the unnecessary, replace the replaceable, and keep the profit driving. We haven't found a single P yet in the business. There's always something you can change it with.
Yeah.
So as far as we're concerned, they're all R's and U's, and they can all be changed.
Yeah. So tell me again. So it's P.
Profit driving.
Profit driving.
You have to have it to do what you do.
Yeah.
Replaceable, R's, and unnecessary U's.
Yeah. Replaceable.
We've all got use. We spend out stationery and equipment. We want it because it's on Amazon cheap, but we don't use it.
Yeah.
Ours, anything from your insurances to your accountants or coaches, anybody really is an R.
Yeah. Anything that's replaceable. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not just the thing with services and coaches and business. It's the return on investment you get from them, not the monetary cost.
Sure.
Are you using them to your fullest and getting the return on investment from
Of course. Because if not, it's like you say, it's like anything, isn't it? It's like it's like debt, I suppose. Debt's really good if it's producing income for you.
Yeah.
Do you know,
it's good debt and bad debt.
Good debt and bad. Yeah. If you've got 100 grand's worth of debt, what's producing you £600 a month, and it only costs you 100 to serve it, then it's a good debt, isn't it? But if it's not, then it's the return on investment is going to be really bad. No, I like that. That's really, really good.
So we that's the first thing we do with new clients. We say run it every 6 months anyway. For existing clients, it's just keep on focusing on your expenses because they creep back up on you. You'll pay for it. You'll do a trial for something, and then it becomes a subscription, and then you're paying out for it.
Yeah, and
Or something.
that creep always comes, doesn't it? And you don't expect it at all. Like you
No.
said, like that creep's always there, and then all of a sudden you've lost a couple of clients, or you've not hit them targets, and you don't feel it immediately, but that creep's coming, and then it's like, shit, I didn't see that happen.
Yeah. So we're all very guilty of when we take on a new client, going, oh, our new income level is this. I'm going to spend to this level. And then it drops. Oh, but I'm still spending up here.
Yeah.
But I'm only getting this.
Yeah. It's like going to the gym, isn't it? Do you know, I'm burning 2,000 calories a day in the gym, but actually I'm not going to the gym now, but I'm still eating 4,000 calories, and I'm not burning the surplus too.
still eating those pizzas every week, even though I'm not burning them off anymore.
I'm not burning them off anymore. I can't understand why I'm putting weight on though, Dan. It doesn't make any sense.
Exactly, yeah.
No, it's really, really good. So we got talking on Facebook, didn't we? And it was from a post that I'd shared on there, which is a very simplistic way that I try and encourage people to run their business is to split it into 3 accounts. So you've got your expense account, your profit account, your tax account, and the way that the way that I was taught, and what I found has always worked well for me is, you know, let's just say your business runs at 10k a month. Say the expenses to run is 10, and you bring in 15, then that 5 surplus you split 50-50 into the tax and the profit account.
Yeah.
And then the way that I've always been taught to do that was then once your profit account hits 6 months cover for your expenses, then there's an overflow function of that account, which is then an investment account. So then you start putting money in there that you might choose to use to invest in, whether it's other businesses, stocks, shares, premises, etc., etc., etc. But you're saying that it's not that it's wrong, it's just that the way that you use the profit first system is similar, but it's different as well. So do you want to run us through that now?
So profit first, you have similar sort of number of accounts. You have an income account where all your income comes into, an expense account, tax, profit, and wages. But how profit first works is you take your income and immediately you take out a percentage for your profit. So 1%, 2%, 3%, whatever it is, you take that out straight away. That's yours to be kept for a later date. And then you take out whatever percentage you work out your wages to be. So if you're wanting to earn £2,000 and that's 30% of your total income, you move that to one side, that's out of the way. Then you take out an average of your last 3 years tax as a percentage. So ours is currently running at 7% of our turnover is our average tax bill, both corporation tax and personal tax is about 7%. So that goes away.
That's pretty good.
And whatever you're left with, that's what you can spend on your spend on your expenses.
Okay.
So it's a bit.
So sorry, if we just run that through a numbers game now, just so it makes sense. So let's say you've produced 15k of revenue this month.
So then you move 1% away, which is 150 quid away into your profit account. Yeah. You move 3k into your owner's tax account because that's roughly what you need to earn per month yourself.
Tax account or your wages?
Owner's pay.
Owner's pay, yeah. So your wage, yeah. So 3k to your wage, yeah.
Yeah. Then whatever percentage to your tax account. So we say we say
10%.
Yeah. So 10%, £1,500 away to your tax account.
Yeah.
And then whatever's left, that is what you can use to run your business.
Okay, so then you've got left from that what three? So what you got 3, 4.5. Call it. So you got 10k left. Call it.
Yeah. We're very good as human beings at using what we have. I don't know about you. When you get a fresh tube, he uses a toothpaste analogy. When you get a fresh tube of toothpaste, you're wanging out massive strips of toothpaste on that toothbrush, aren't you, to brush your teeth? But when you've got a little bit left in that tube, you're squeezing every little piece out of that tube to get that toothpaste out. Yeah. And this is the same sort of thing with your business. If you've got 10 grand to spend in your business, you'll spend 10 grand. If you've got 9,950, you'll spend that.
Sure.
It's the same thing. You'll use what you have.
I like that.
So the profit first is you take out what you want first.
Okay.
And what you've got left, that's what you play with. As entrepreneurs, we're all very good at using what we have left, squeezing out the juice from it, making sure we're getting the most return on investment from our money. But this method means you've already taken into account your tax, you've already taken into account what you want to earn per month, and you've already taken into account that little bit extra. Now that bit extra is saved up for every quarter. That's saved up, and then at the end of that, you get to spend half it on whatever you like. So that's your reward for doing it.
Okay.
And then the other half is put into a vault account to build up a cash reserve in case of a global pandemic or something stupid like that happening.
Something crazy like that that's can't happen. Surely it's never going to happen. We're never going to find something that's going to shut the entire world down. Surely, Dan.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what builds up, and then, like you, we try to keep that around 6 months worth of operating costs.
Yeah. So that just so I'm familiar then what you're saying then. So this is the profit account you're talking about, is it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
so you keep the profit account, and then at end of, what did you say, 12 months?
End of every quarter, every 3 months.
Every 3 months. Half of it you spend on whatever you want.
Yeah.
And then
half of it you keep.
Half of it you keep. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the reward for you being in business.
Right.
If you're carrying debts, then they say use 95% of that half to pay down debt, but still use some of it to reward yourself, even if it's a coffee.
Right. Okay.
If you're not carrying debt, then go on holiday, do something nice.
Yeah. True.
Buy a nice new car or something.
Sure. So how do you get that money out of your business efficiently then?
So normally as a limited company, that's probably a dividend because you're already taking your wages out, and so what is the owner's pay could be a combination of wages and dividends, or wages depending how you set up. But this profit is an extra dividend distribution to you.
Sure.
Which, if you're running it properly, the tax account will be saving up your tax bill, so you don't need to worry about the tax you have to pay on it.
Yeah. Sure.
Obviously, you'll have to pay some tax on the tax payment because it's the company paying your personal tax. But the idea is that you're saving enough every month that it all covers itself.
Right, I'm with you. And so can it be more than 1%? You know, like what's the threshold? How far can you stretch it?
As far as you like. We say start off low because you don't want to suck out all the money from your business to start with.
Sure.
But start building it up. Start at 1%, then go to 2% after the first quarter. If you're still going well, go to 4%. See how you're doing.
Right.
Go to 8%. It's take out enough that your business you're not having to pay it back, because the idea is you're not lending the business money back to pay its bills.
Right.
You're just creaming off the top part for yourself.
Yeah. Sure. It's interesting. I like the strategy. It's a good way of looking at it, isn't it? And I suppose that's exactly the clues in the title, in the sense that it's profit first.
Yeah.
I suppose. No, sorry, Dan. Go on. Sorry.
He uses the analogy. What often he uses your food on your plate. If you're living a healthy diet, you have your vegetables first. You look after yourself first. Then you have the meat. Then you have the nice stuff afterwards. So the profit is your vegetables. You're looking after yourself first, and then you're paying the tax, which is the meat, the protein, and then the stuff left is the expenses. It's paying yourself first.
Yeah. And I like the analogy that you use, in the sense that you use whatever you've got, and I think that, like, it made me think, like, time is exactly the same, isn't it? You know, if I give you 4 hours to get something done, it's going to take you 4 hours to do it. But if I tell you you've only got 45 minutes, you'll still get it done in 45 minutes.
You'll get it done, yeah. You'll get it done. We're all very guilty of not setting time scales of things, or not giving ourselves budgets of things. We just spend or use what we have, because that's how we've been brought up.
Exactly.
I don't know about you, but my parents had the envelopes. So whenever they got paid, they put money in the envelope for food, envelope for holidays or whatever. It's a play on that.
Yeah, I remember my parents doing that for the electricity and gas bills. They used to put the money away each week in a little envelope in a old steel biscuit tin. Yeah.
So instead of a biscuit tin, we use starving account and pots.
Right.
That's our biscuit tin.
Yeah, I like it. So in terms of this being effective, I suppose the real challenge for business is to be able to flip the mindset, to be able to think about it this way, because I suppose the initial kind of challenge from this would be, well, I can't do that because I've got commitments in place already that I have to meet every month. I can't just suddenly just say, actually, I'm going to pay me first.
Yeah, that's why we start really low at 1% for profit, because if you say you can run it on 100%, you can run it on 99%. And that's why the first few months we do the expense analysis. We go through those PRs and U's and get rid of things you don't need, because businesses can save at least probably hundreds of pounds in those first months doing that, because we all have expenses we don't need.
Yeah.
There's always some for me. We had an office big enough for 4 people when we first started it. we now have an office for me,
Right.
and everyone else works from home.
Okay.
So that's a £500 a month saving I made just by doing that.
So what did you do with the 5 though? Did you cream that off, or did you invest it somewhere else?
I increased my percentages. So I increased my wages, I increased my profit, I increased the amount I put to tax.
Sure. And I suppose that then comes back to what your business plan really is about, because if you could have probably easily put that money into, you know, I don't know, maybe an apprentice that's going to do some marketing that could produce more revenue for you, or you know, maybe chuck £500 a month in some advertising that's going to produce more revenue for you as well. I suppose you've got to link it to what your goals are right at the start.
Yeah. If we wanted to increase sales, we could move the money around. If we saved £1,000 on expenses, then we're going to have £600 of that left after the percentage changes to spend on something else. I mean, if we were looking to employ a staff member, then we'd set up a new pot for that. We'd have a new staff member pot, and we'd pay that pot as if we were paying the staff member for 3 to 6 months to see if the business can support them.
Yeah.
And if it can, great. Then we employ the staff member at month 7. We have 6 months worth of their wages saved up, and it's all good.
Good.
But if we can't afford that on a monthly basis, then we know we need to increase something along the way to be able to achieve it.
Where does a business need to be financially before they start considering recruiting?
I think if they can afford to pay their wages and not see a detrimental effect for that 3 to 6 month period, then it's probably time to employ someone, because you can find someone to do what you're doing. We're all very guilty of holding on to what our business does. I mean, admin stuff, I spent most of Monday doing admin. Today, I'm interviewing 2 admin people today because I want to pass it on to somebody else, because their hourly wage is less than what I could earn per hour.
Yeah.
So we're all very guilty of holding on to things that we can do, we're not necessarily too good at, like social media and things. We all try and post on Facebook and LinkedIn. We're not very good at it though. Unless that's the job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, one of the things that I've always said there is, I always say, look at what your burn is, and look at how long your runway is. And what I mean by that, for people that's listening, I'm sure you probably understand. But like, if you're saying again that by taking this person on, you like, let's say that you've got a revenue coming in every month, a guaranteed revenue, because it's subscription based or whatever it may be, and let's say you've got 5k a month coming in, and you've got 5k in the bank, cash in hand, on hand, but your expenses now jump up to 5.5 because you've took somebody else on, however that works. So you're now losing £500 a month. I think that what I've tried to encourage people to look at is not the fact that you're going to be 500 down, but how long that extra 5k surplus in the bank is going to give you runway to get into the air. And I think that like, if you, I mean, I don't know off the top of my head, what's that? Is it 10 months? Is it 500
10
divided?
months,
10 months.
10 months.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, of course it is. Simple maths, that really. Yeah.
Simple
So
maths.
yeah. So, but that means then you've got 10 months to try and get this bird into the sky before you run out of money. And you know, that's a good place to be.
Yeah. It's a similar thing with the employee pot. You've got 6 months of their wages where they're going to be ineffective. They're not going to be money generating. They're going to be sapping your time because you're training them to get you down the road. You've got that money saved up to take that into account.
Sure. And I think that's become a lot easier right now as well, hasn't it? Especially with like the incentives that the government's put in place. You know, like you've got all these workplace internships that's paid. You've got this Kickstart scheme that well, hopefully they'll get sorted soon. You know, it's not, I don't think anyone's been placed just yet, have they? But there's this £2 billion fund that's been put to one side to do this, where I think that could be really helpful for a lot of businesses as well. The apprenticeship route is really helpful. So I think
we apply for the Kickstart scheme because the Kickstart scheme is supposed to be for someone over and above your employment needs. I think it should be for someone you actually need in the business, because after 6 months, if you don't need them, you're going to get shot.
Yeah.
You've had a free person in your office for 6 months doing work you don't want to do, but after 6 months, you're just going to get rid of them.
Exactly.
It's especially over and above your actual business needs, which is I find odd.
I agree, and I think that. I mean, it's the government, isn't it? You know, like they're not good at business. That's the thing with the government. They're not good at business at all, are they? They tend to ruin a lot of stuff. They put their fingers in the pie and they mess it up a little bit too much, don't they? But
there's always a catch somewhere.
There is, isn't there? I mean, I see the natural progression is, if you've got them for 6 months and they actually prove themselves to the business as an asset, then the next thing is, why don't you just put them through an apprenticeship? On a, not a shitty one. Put them for like a level 5 or even a level 7, like a master's of some sort in that space that they're operating, and don't just treat them as a low cost employee, that's not costing the business money, but as a real asset that you can develop and help them to forge a career as well.
Yeah, that's what we wanted. We wanted someone for 6 months. We could train them up, and then after 6 months, put them on an accountancy apprentice or an admin apprentice or something that would actually help our business, not to move them on to somebody else.
Sure. But, and what happened for you then? Have they said no? Or?
They've said no. Yeah.
Really? Is it? That's crazy.
Yeah, we applied through Doncaster Chamber because it was when you had to have at least 30 placements.
30, yeah.
They've now changed that.
You can do it yourself.
Yeah. But
So
the application form's horrendous.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've had a look this morning.
Could you maybe do it again and go down a different
I'm
angle?
planning to,
Yeah.
But we already hired an administrator anyway, so it's over and above now.
Yeah, sure. No, that's good.
So we'll do it again.
That's really good. So in terms of like sales, let's talk about sales right now, because that's my game. I love sales. I think sales is the finest. I think it's the best job in the world. I think it's the highest paid job in the world. Put it that way. You look at who's the richest guy right now? Elon Musk. So $200 billion guy.
Yeah.
He's a good salesman.
Very, very good. Yeah.
Very good salesman. Very good salesman. So let's talk about sales for you and your business. I mean, like how do you get business done?
At the moment, most of our business is coming from referrals. People who have used us, know us, like us, and trust us to pass on the information because they're passing on that relationship they built up.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that convert the best.
Are you asking for the referrals, or are they just coming? Or are you encouraging them? Like what happens there?
We offer referral schemes for clients who refer clients to us. We offer them referral schemes. Obviously, networking. We do single sector networking. We've been part of the group for years, and we know the people in the group. They all know what we do.
Yeah.
And fingers crossed they like us for doing it.
Yeah, sure. What do you think? Do you think that single sector networking still has a space in modern times? I mean, you're saying you've been involved in it for a long time, so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's BNI, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And I think that the thing with BNI is I'm a big fan. I'm not a member, but I'm a big fan of BNI. I think that it's got a lot of benefits for people. I don't think it works for me individually on a personal level. I think it's too regimented for me. But I'll always encourage people to go and have a look at it for them because I know it works, and it works really, really well.
Yeah.
But do you think that it still has a place in modern times when everything is so omnichannel?
I think having that group of people that you can pass something to is really important, especially for an accountant. Having someone you can pass your clients on to is very important for us because, again, you're passing on that relationship to someone. If you're passing on to someone you don't know very well, you've seen on the internet once or twice, it's a bit more dangerous than someone you speak to week in, week out.
Yeah.
Obviously, sure. It's not face to face at the moment, which is a bit frustrating.
Majorly, yeah, majorly. Do you think that then you could probably attribute some of your success then to BNI because it's taught you how to ask for referrals?
I think that all the training that they give you on top of the networking has really helped us as a business grow, and just learning from the other people in the group as well, who have been there, done that. One's been up the mountain and come back down again, but he wants to help other people get there as well.
Yeah.
So it's just tapping into that, having that network to tap into is really important, especially when you're starting out in business. Because we're all very good at the job we do, but it's the stuff around it we're not so good at.
Sure. No, that makes total sense. What like in terms of like sales wise, are you a sales kind of person, or are you like, I don't want to sell, I feel uncomfortable selling, like where do you sit on that?
I'm terrible at selling. Absolutely hate it. I'd rather sit down and have a conversation than sell at somebody.
Yeah.
I suppose that's one way of selling, isn't it?
I was just going to say the
conversation.
Same.
Yeah, but ironically enough, I don't like talking numbers with people. My numbers, I don't mind talking their numbers.
Yeah.
But we put together proposals for people based on what they want, and our price is our price. We don't haggle on it at all. If people want to haggle, then
I like that.
They can go. There's plenty of other accountants in the world.
I like that.
There's only 10 profit first accountants in the UK at the moment.
Really?
So
Only 10?
yeah, we're very niche at the moment.
Wow.
Which is great for us.
Yeah, yeah. And I suppose, again, you can, like, as you said earlier, you can be anywhere. You can work anywhere. You can be, like, say, you'd be in the back of your van in Edinburgh, in Scotland, or wherever you're going, and you can serve people.
Yeah. I mean, our client base is from the bottom of Cornwall up to Newcastle. There's people all over the UK, so it doesn't matter where we are.
Yeah.
And some people want face-to-face meetings, which is why BNI helps, because it's local. So the referrals we get are local, whereas social media could be anywhere in the UK.
Of course, really. Yeah, of course. I suppose, like, if you like Cornwall, like, you don't mind going down, do you?
I don't know. It's a business expense if I go down there in the van for a week. Yeah.
No, fantastic. That's really good. So, like, in terms of the sales, then I think it's really interesting in terms of what you were saying. Then is that you don't like selling at all, but then you kind of corrected yourself and realized actually the best way to sell is just by actually being curious and showing a genuine interest in that person and communicating with them. Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that I try to be into people all the time. You know, sales is not about doing something to somebody; it's about doing something with them.
Yeah.
And you know, just communicating and caring. And I love the fact that you said that you just don't negotiate on price, because that is what it is. Like, and if you want it, like that's it. I love that.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, if we gave someone a 10% discount, then the person before them, they could be like, why are you giving them a discount for? You value your own service. So if people value you enough, they'll pay the price. If they don't see the value, they'll move on.
Exactly. If you solve their problem and help them reach their goals, why would they not pay it?
Exactly.
It's like we talked about earlier on with the return on investment, isn't it? You know, like, you pay that money, if it works, you're going to keep on paying it. If it doesn't, you're going to find somewhere else to spend it.
Yeah, they become an hour and you move on to somebody else until you find that return on investment. I mean, there's people always looking for deals. There's always going to be, and there's people that will. Accountancy in the past has been very much a race to the bottom. Online accountants, you pay them £10 and they'll do your tax return for you.
Yeah. But
you don't have that relationship. You don't have that support. I mean, if our client come to us wanting an introduction to somebody, we could probably find them a person who could do what they want them to do. Yeah. But an online accountant, you pay £10 to in the Philippines,
just a digit.
Is not going to know.
Yeah, you're a digit, aren't you? That's it. You're just another number. Yeah. You're another subscription. You're another Netflix, aren't you?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So in terms of, like, the online space where you are, I mean, I had a quick look through your website and stuff like that. I can see that you've got, you know, a lot of stuff on there that's happening. You've got the lead magnets on there for the downloads and things. Like, how do you find that stuff? Is that something that you've done yourself? Have you outsourced it? Like, does it work?
The things we've written ourselves, we get the odd download here and then. I think the website needs overhauling personally. We are launching a new website for the Profit First stuff on its own as a separate website. But the blogs help. Writing about up-to-date topics that people care about has really been helpful for us to just to direct people to the website. Say, read this. We've written them about this before. Yeah. Have a quick look at that.
Do you use that in tandem with doing some outreach? Do you actually do any, like, outbound sales prospecting at all?
Not really. No, we don't cold call or anything like that. We do put the odd post on social media to get people to come to us. But most of our sales are done through,
like I said, referral.
A post on social media saying I'm looking for an accountant, and we get tagged in it.
You get tagged into it. Yeah.
At the start of COVID, we started a WhatsApp group for any businesses that wanted to join it, to offer advice, to provide information, because, bless him, Rishi knows his stuff, but he talks a lot of bollocks when it comes to it. People don't understand it.
Of course.
So breaking that down into a simple, understandable chunks of information in the WhatsApp group has really helped people out, and we got some referrals from that as well.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's really
good. The small touches, I think.
What's the WhatsApp group? Do you know, like, how do people get involved if they're interested?
Oh, there's a link for it. I can send you the link for it for people to come join it.
Yeah, no, that'd be really helpful, I think, for a lot of people. What made you choose WhatsApp as opposed to, like, a Facebook group or?
It's more personal, I think, and people tend to pay more attention to messages, like text messages or WhatsApp messages. I mean, I'm a member of probably 20 Facebook groups, and I don't read them.
Yeah.
The notifications come. I may bob in and out of it, but it's a lot of noise.
Yeah, I agree.
Whereas a Facebook group, it's like WhatsApp group. It's on your phone. It's there. and people can mute it if they want to. But we changed the settings a while ago, so only we could post in it.
Okay.
So that the people are only getting the information that they needed rather than general conversation.
Right. Okay. Do you think that did that work or did that hurt it?
I think we sort of go through stages. We turn it on and off. So when there's a big announcement that people have questions about, we turn it back on again so people can comment. Right. And then on the day-to-day, we turn it off so people can't, and it's not flooded with general chit-chat about stuff.
No, I like that. That's good. That's really good. And it is so true. I mean, I forget the statistics now, but it's something quite high, like something like, I think it was like 87, maybe even 90% of people open a text message and read a text message, as opposed to your 15 to 20% on an email.
Yeah.
I don't know what that looks like in a group in terms of the digital space, but again, I think that it's going to be very hard to compete with an 80, 90% open rate.
It is. I mean, we have launched a Profit First Facebook group because as an organization, Profit First are clamping down on the unofficial things. There's a lot of people who read the book and think they can implement it for other people's businesses. So there's been a lot of clamping down on that. So there's a space for us to move into. So we just launched a Facebook group for UK businesses wanting to learn from a certified professional.
I get that. I mean, I think that this is really interesting because I see this all the time as well. And it's one of the things that grates my gears a little bit is like people who's read a book and all of a sudden they can coach you or they can, teach you something, or like, especially in the sales space where I am, is that I mean, I spend a lot of time, probably 90% of my time spent teaching sales. And it's what it's like I love that space. I love that so much. But I think that selling is a very fast-paced environment that's changing rapidly, especially with technology. And I think that the thing that really annoys me is when you see people teaching sales and they've not sold anything themselves for a decade.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and I'm that annoying shit guy, that annoying little shit that sits at the front of a class and putting my hand up and I'm saying, listen, like, I love what you're telling me, but when did you last do this and what result did you get from it?
Yeah. There's a lot of people preaching at you, but not a lot of people practice what they preach.
Yeah, true.
Which is what I social media people, they're really good at trying to sell you. They're really good at our jobs. We can do social media. Like, well, your social media isn't very good, mate. So surely if you could do what you say you were doing, you do it for yourself first.
Yeah.
Because that is your job.
But then, I mean, and I agree, but there's a certain side of me that's like thinking, well, is it necessarily true that though? Because you take football, for example, you might not be a great footballer, but you could be a great manager.
Untrue, I suppose.
And I think that because I agree with what you're saying, but I think like everything, there's a small. It's not foolproof, is it? There's always a caveat somewhere.
There's always the exception to the rule.
Yeah, an exception. Yeah, and I think that the way that I try to kind of best make sense of it for myself is like, who are you? Like, are you a consultant? Are you a coach? Or are you a mentor? And I think that's the better way to look at it, because I think as a coach, you don't have to have had, like, if you're a business coach, I don't think you have to have had success in business to be able to coach somebody. I think you just need to learn how to get people to find the answers really well. You need to be able to coach the answers out of them. Yeah. Whereas if you're a mentor, if I'm going to mentor you, I'd expect that mentor to have done the things first.
Yeah.
And whereas if you're a consultant, I think that, again, you should be very specific about a particular area. So I want a social media consultant, and it means that, like, very much like a mentor, you should be very, very good at doing this for yourself, not just telling others how to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best way that I try to make sense of it. What should businesses be doing right now, Dan? What's the best advice for businesses right now, whether they're seasoned businesses that's been around for a long time, or startups, or someone that's just starting to grow? Because there's businesses that's grown throughout this pandemic as well, isn't there? I've seen some really, really good success stories, which is wonderful as well. What do they need to do? What would you advise them to do right now?
As I said from the start, is just look at the expenses side of things, where you spend your money. Because if you understand where your money's going, it can help you to understand where you need it to come from. I know a lot of people say don't focus on what you don't focus on, what you want to attract. So it's kind of counterintuitive. Focus on the expenses to understand where it's all going to. Yeah. But if money's flowing for your business, then that's a good thing, because you're helping other people and stuff. It's just focusing on those expenses, see where you're spending the money. If you shave off the fat, then great. It's just trimming it all down a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, focus on those, understanding those, and then backwards working what you need to earn to get what you want.
Got you. And how would you? What am I trying to say? I'm just trying to think how to word it. So like I see so many people that's in business that's probably been doing it for a while. Some are startups, but there's others that's probably been doing it for 5 years, a decade plus, and they're still not running it as a business. They're treating it very much like a hobby. How do you educate them that they need to start teaching, like not teaching, but like spending more time focusing on the numbers rather than just, getting by, like.
I think if they're an established business, they haven't realised that already, especially in the last year, then they're never going to.
Right,
I think you can lead a horse to water, as the saying goes, but you can't make it drink. You can point them in the right direction, saying that you really should be focusing on this. But it's leading from example, I think, as well. If you're doing it, you're showing them what you do, how you do it, how it's helping your business grow, how it's affecting your personal life, how it's helping you achieve your goals. Then maybe they'll come along for the ride. But if they've been doing it for 10, 15 years and still treat it like a hobby, then there's probably no changing that.
There's no changing that, no. And I suppose if they've been doing it for 10, 15 years, is there any reason to change it?
It works for them.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to get out of the business what you want to get out of it. And if they're getting what they want and have been for that long, then
why change it? Yeah.
Yeah, it would take something to make them want to change it. And that's the point where we step in, is where they've had that, let's say, epiphany, that moment that they want to change something.
Yeah, I agree. And it's like I try and tell people all the time that, like, in terms of, we as human beings are driven by two things, either pain or pleasure. And often it's the pleasure that is secondary to that. We are driven much more by pain. So we'll wait until that tax bill comes that we can't afford before it causes enough pain for us to make a decision to change something. Or we'll drive that car. The example I use all the time is we'll drive that car and the engine management light keeps flashing at us, but the car still works, so we don't do anything about it. Yeah, until it breaks down, and then it's painful, and we have to do something. And then we probably curse and say, "Why me? This always happens to me." And it's like, no, you've got a flashing light that's a warning telling you.
I mean, I don't understand why people leave it to the 31st of January to do the tax returns. You have from the 5th of April to get the stuff done. Then you've got months and months and months to plan your tax payments, make little payments here and there towards it. But no, people leave it to the last minute and go, "Oh shit, I haven't got $5,000 to pay my tax bill." Like, well, you've had 6 months to sort. You've had ages to sort it out.
Why do you think they do that? Like, what do you think?
They're scared of it. I think a lot of people are under the misconception that once you've done your tax return, you have to pay it then. That's a conversation I've had with a few people, seasoned business people. They think you have to pay your tax bill as soon as your tax return's done. Right. No, you don't. You still get to the 31st of January. Even if you do it in May, June, July, August, September, you still have all those months to pay it.
Yeah.
I think the misconception is.
I suppose, again, there's always extensions as well that you could apply for and ask for if you really need it as well, and restructure it.
There's always a way around those deadlines. Or if you take out a payment plan on the 31st of January, you'll be in the same position, and you won't pay any interest on it. But it's just, I think people are scared people are scared to get a tax bill because they have to pay it or they worry about it, which is why Profit First is so good, because you've already got the money to pay for it.
You've already got the money to pay for it. Why do you think it is, Dan? Like, why do you think people are scared? Because I agree with you. I think that it's a similar conversation I've had with many people about themselves, their own finances. Is that I'm like, have you done a credit reference check on yourself? Have you got like Experian and looked at your credit score and stuff? And they're like, "Well, then." And I'm like, "Well, why not?" And they're like, "Why?" And they're scared of it, aren't they? They're like, so I think it's very similar to this. Is that they're scared? Like, why do you think that is?
I think because a lot of people who do start themselves have been employed in the past, and when they're employed, it's all taken care of it for you. You don't see your tax come off every month. You just look at that bottom net pay figure that goes in your bank. That's all you care about. You don't appreciate the rest of the stuff that comes with it.
Yeah.
So when you have to start doing it for yourself, it's the fear of the unknown. It's why a lot of startups fail in the second year, because they just don't have the money to pay the tax bills. So they go, screw it, I'll close.
Right.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah. Sure. So it probably makes much more sense, and I suppose this is an education really that's missing, isn't it? In the sense that they probably need someone like you on board from day one. Yeah. Not just when the shit hits the fan.
Yeah. I mean, our fees are a monthly direct debit, so there's no large annual payment. It's spread over 12 months. Whether we come on in the first month or 12, it's always 12 months. So we cost the same in month 1 as we do in month 11. So there's no reason why you wouldn't engage someone straight away. And then you've got that help and support right from the beginning.
Yeah.
And you've got that guidance right from the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, it's strange how people start up a business but don't take on the advice.
Yeah.
I mean, why you wouldn't book a holiday without doing your research first and understanding what you need to do, or you'd farm out to an estate agent to do it, not an estate agent, a travel agent to do it for you.
Definitely.
You don't go through the process of buying a house yourself. You got estate agents, solicitors, but business, I could do it all myself.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
It's people fear, isn't it? Though I think that's the. It's the same with books. Do you know, the amount of people who read a book just to say they've read the book, but they don't apply anything from that book.
No.
I've got a bookshelf at home in the office at home, and there's hundreds of books in there that's not even finished because I'll get so far through it and I'll learn something from that, and I think, wow, that's incredible, and I'll go and apply it straight away, and I'll keep applying it, and I'll never go back to that book unless I'm ready for the next part of it.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what I'm looking for in a book. I'm looking for something in a book that I can take and I can apply that's going to make my life better or easier.
Yeah. My Audible list is huge of books I've listened to. I don't do reading, don't do words, but Audible is great for me. It's just put it on in the office or in the car and just listen to it as I'm driving. That's one of the best subscriptions investments I have is Audible.
Agree. No, I love Audible. Like, that's all I listen to when I'm in the car. That or podcast. I don't listen to any music unless. No, I tell a lie. I do listen to music, but it's selective music. Do you know? I don't listen to the radio, so to speak.
It's Spotify or something you like. It's
Apple Music, yeah. So it's a list of stuff that I know is going to get my heart pumping a little bit and get me a little bit excited and stuff like that. So I know how I work. What would you recommend? Like, what's a good book for people to read that you think is really good? Do you know what? I knew that you were going to pull that one out just then. Profit First. Yeah.
That one. Or if you want help implement it, that's my planner to help implement it.
Oh, really? Right. Okay. So this is a book that you've just got out, is it?
So it's just released on Amazon. So it's for people who have read the Profit First book or heard about it and want to implement it in their business.
That's fantastic. Let's hold it up again so we can see it. So it's the.
Is it backwards? Primarily Profit Planner.
Primarily Profit Planner. Yeah, making profit. Your priority, is it? Yeah, brilliant. So we'll put a link for that as well. It says it's Amazon, isn't it?
It's available in all good bookstores.
All the places you can read books.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah, we've got a publisher as part of our client base who's lovely. So she's sorted all that out for us.
Fantastic. So you self-published, did you, through this company? Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah,
fantastic. Was it a painless journey?
Well, for all the people that we've networked with, my art was done by one of our clients who's a designer. The publisher it's a close family friend and the client, so it absolutely easy.
Yeah, which reinforces everything that we've talked about today, isn't it? Is that, you know, you probably could have done this yourself, but you've realised actually, you know, why do that? There's people out there that can design it, that can publish it, that can do this stuff. Why am I doing it myself?
Yeah, why am I doing it? Even the words? I put most of the words in, but then had someone look at it for me. Yeah, because I'm terrible with them. So it's just about finding the people that you like and trust to do it for you.
To do that. How hard was that for you to let go of that kind of stuff, or was it quite easy for you?
4 years ago, I wouldn't let go of it.
Really? What changed?
But now I'm very much, if someone can do it better and take less time doing it, I don't mind paying the money for them to do it.
Right.
That's what I've learned through my 4.5 years. Is there's always someone that can do it better for you. Yeah. Then let them do it.
And which account do you take that one out of? Do you take that out of the
operating expenses?
That's the operating expenses account. Yeah. Fantastic. Dan, it's been absolutely wonderful speaking with you. Where can people find out? We're going to put a link to the book and the WhatsApp group as well. If you fire that across for me, and we'll put that into the wherever people's going to see this, watch it, read it. I'll put it in the description. But for people that's obviously listening and watching, like, where can they find out more about what you do and how you can help them?
So we're on Facebook under D&K Accounting. Our website is dkaccs.co.uk, although the new Profit First one will be profitfirst.uk when that launches. LinkedIn as well, all over that stuff. Yeah, absolutely wonderful. Dan, is there anything that I've not talked to you about today that I think that you think people could probably get benefit from? I think we covered pretty much everything.
We've covered everything. Yeah, it's good, man. It's good. Brilliant. Dan, thank you so much for your time. It's been really good. I hope everybody who's like watching or listening or reading this has got as much value out of this as what I've personally got out of this today from yourself as well. And guys, have an absolutely wonderful day. So we'll speak to you again soon.
Thanks for having me, John.